Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome indeed, yes, to a Wednesday edition of the Mark Moses Show podcast. As we're always streaming, we're always broadcasting live, yes, from the Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Take back control of your life. Call them today, 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. It's Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. And I'm just going to start with this. Last night was one of the craziest, most random nights in sports that I can remember. I went out with friends for dinner, which I usually don't do. I kind of after work turn into a hermit and I just stay at home with my cat and play video games, or I'm watching basketball. That's what I've done over the last couple of weeks. But last night I had a good time, went out to dinner, had some pasta, chicken. It was a good time. It was. And I was driving home. I'm talking to my cousin on the phone. We had a great conversation. And I finally get home around 9 o'clock last night, Eastern time. And I start getting text messages. And I start looking at social media. I'm like, all right, what did I miss in the last couple of hours? And the first thing I saw was that the Baltimore Ravens have decided they're not going to do the trade where they give up 2 first-round picks to the Vegas Raiders for Max Crosby. They've decided they're not doing that. It's off the table. And remember, today was the day where it officially started, where you could start making these moves with the new year in the NFL. They decided Monday, hey, before the start of the season, we're going to go all in. We're going to make this move. And it was one of those things where you're like, whoa, this is crazy. And remember, in the last 48 hours since making the trade and getting those 2 first-round picks, the Raiders have made moves in free agency because now they have money. They don't have to pay Max Crosby. They can pay these other guys. Well, that's off the table. That's why you're like, man, the NFL is king. Even when there's not games going on, the NFL dominates the headlines. And we still don't know, as of today, what the update's going to be, where Max Crosby's going to play. We're still not sure. And maybe that changes in the next 5 minutes. But as of right now, we don't know. And it appears the Raiders still have their picks. And the Ravens, yeah, they have their picks as well. Weird and crazy, man. Crazy. But something happened magical last night. It did. Usually it's very hard for baseball, hockey, soccer, basketball. It's very hard in the world we live today where a sport can overtake the NFL for headlines. It doesn't happen often, but it happened last night, because you'd think that'd be the dominant story. Everyone would be going crazy where Max Crosby's not going to the Ravens. Oh, no. The most random thing happened last night in the NBA, where someone beat Kobe Bryant's 81 points in an NBA basketball game in the modern era. And it wasn't LeBron. It wasn't Steph Curry. It wasn't a Devin Booker. It wasn't a Jimmy Butler. I could keep going on and on and on. It was Bam Adebayo on the Miami Heat on a random Tuesday night in South Florida in a game that I bet most Heat fans not only didn't go to the basketball arena, probably didn't even watch it on TV. Whatever. I got other things going on. I got dinner with friends. I got to do my taxes. I don't know, whatever you're doing. I bet you there are a lot of Heat fans, and I'm not ripping Heat fans. We're probably thinking, we're going to kill the Wizards. That's a high school team. We got them. Well, we don't need to watch. Bam Adebayo, who averages 20 points a game this season for the Miami Heat, scored 83 points last night. If you would have told me on that current roster who would have scored 83 points for the Heat, I'd go Tyler Hero, who I think just won, was it Player of the Week or Player of the Month in the Eastern Conference? It was something like that. I just saw that the other day because the Magic fans were angry that Paolo Banchero didn't win that award. It must have been for the week. Tyler Hero didn't play last night. Bam Adebayo did. 83 points. And I told this to my brother this morning. I bet you there are a lot of Heat fans who are like, hey, you want to go to the game? Come on. Hey, come on. Well, the tickets are cheap. Let's go to the Heat game. Nah, I'm busy. I got other things going on. And I bet you as a fan, you're like, all right, who are they playing in this game? Oh, they're playing the Wizards. Nah, I'm good. I had my sister who's new to living in South Florida. She's like, Mark, I want to go to a Heat game. She's like, I want to see the Lakers. I was like, well, if you want to go to the Lakers game there in South Florida, the 400 level tickets are a couple $100. 400 level. I didn't know arenas had a 400 level, but they do at the Heat Stadium. And then the next night, oh, you want to see them take on the Nets? Tickets are $15. Think if you went to that game last night, you bought a cheap ticket, you're there at the Heat game, you're sitting the upper deck, and you're like, well, we're not going to see Luka, we're not going to see LeBron, we're not going to see Steph Curry, but hey, we're going to see our Heat play. No Tyler Hero. We'll probably get the win. Hey, we'll have a good time. You went to the most random game where it finished with Bam Adebayo scoring 83 points. And it's the only game I can remember where I'm on Twitter, and usually during the game, you're using that second screen where you're watching the TV, but you're also looking at your phone and you're texting your friends and you're updating on what's going on with social media and you're looking at all that stuff. I swear. The algorithm, it got destroyed. It was broken after a while. I'm not kidding, because it literally didn't understand, because it was posting stuff from 30 minutes ago, then 5 minutes ago, then 15 minutes ago. It didn't know how to update. It's like, oh, Bam's got 62. Oh, Bam's got 55. Bam's got 31. It lost its mind. It didn't know what to do as the update. And I tried turning on NBA TV on my YouTube TV. And I'm like, all right, maybe they're bombing in on the game. And there was a good game on TV last night. It was maybe a finals preview. Spurs and the Celtics. No, everyone wanted to see what the hell Bam Adebayo was doing. NBA TV did not have the game on. They had some type of show where I didn't understand. It was like a bunch of people were sitting on couches talking about the games going on. I don't want to see that. Show me the actual game. These are the situations where cable television put the bleeping game on. Everyone wants to see it. That was wild. He averages 20 points a game. He had 83 last night. He shot 43 free throws. Did he attempt over 33 pointers in this game? It is the most wild and random thing ever. I remember when Devin Booker scored 70 points a couple years ago, and you're like, what? I could understand Devin Booker hitting 83. Bam Adebayo? Are you kidding me? That happened last night. And what makes it so great is there's so much heat towards the Heat. See what I did there? People hate the Miami Heat, and they've hated them since LeBron took his talents to South Beach, and they became the Heatles. And he said, not one, not two, not three. People hate the Heat with a passion. And it feels like last night that Bam Adebayo, of all players, took the record from Kobe. They don't like the Heat. I love it. From content, I think it's great. And I think that 83 points, I think that kind of rejuvenates the NBA season. And I think people are like, all right, what's going on here? And I think more people are going to tune in moving forward. As we're going to go into March Madness, then we're going to go to the NBA playoffs. It is a great time of year for basketball. It is. So when that happened last night, 83 points, and then I saw the backlash on social media where people are hating on the Heat, I go, there's only one man to call. There's only one man I got to get on. So I recorded this with him about an hour ago. So I'm going to play this real quick. I had to get my friend on who covers the Heat for ESPN West Palm. He is a Heat lifer. He's Jeremy Marks-Peltz. I need his thoughts. Let's play this right here on the Mark Mosey Show. Because I've not talked to this gentleman in a couple years during a broadcast, and I had to bring him on as a Heat lifer. After 83 points last night by Bam, he is Jeremy Marks-Peltz, Mr. JMP with, yes, ESPN West Palm. Dude, how you doing today?
Dude, it's great to talk to you. It's great to connect again. And Ivan brought
The Bam.
the Bam Vice t-shirt jersey. It is
Uh,
actually not mine. It is my wife's because I'm not a t-shirt jersey person at all. But
mm,
thankfully, it's men's sizes, and I wore it just for you.
I appreciate that. I told my brother this morning, there must have been people in South Florida like, hey, you want to go to the Heat game on a random Tuesday? And they're probably thinking like, all right, who are they playing? Ah, the Wizards. Nah, it probably won't be that interesting. What are your thoughts? Random Tuesday, the Wizards, 83 points.
I mean, it's one of the most surreal things I've ever seen. And from like a couple different levels. I mean, number one, like 83 points in a game. I mean, when Kobe scored 81, what, like 20 years ago,
Yeah.
um, that kind of seemed like, and I know that's not, Wilt is the record, but it kind of seemed like no one was ever going to exceed 81 because it's just like such a difficult thing to do and
Mm,
requires so many shot attempts and just like the right, kind of team out there. And to see not just a Heat player, not just somebody that you have to feel really happy for because he gets dumped on a lot and sometimes, warranted, sometimes not. Um, but Bam Adebayo, who like he's not a scorer.
mm. Yeah.
Like our friend Evan Cohen said this morning, if you had to pick, like if you were to say that somebody from the Heat was going to have like a 40 or 50 point game, like forget about 83 and list like who's most likely, Bam's probably third on that list. Like it's Tyler Hero, it's Norm Powell, and of course Hero was out yesterday. Norm's been hurt for a while, and then maybe it's Bam. It's just it's crazy. Like the way that the game, went in the fourth quarter, whether you like it or not, it's like I don't even know how it's possible.
And it was possible. It was. I'm with you. I would say Tyler Hero because I swear 2 days ago, wasn't he named like player of the week or was it player of the month in the Eastern Conference? Tyler Hero. And he's putting up these stats. And I'm still in shock. And I want you to know this. It's the first time I've ever been on Twitter where the algorithm it got confused. So many people were writing about Bam that the timeline made no sense because 62. No, wait, he has 70. Wait, no one could keep up. Dude, that first quarter was phenomenal by Bam. He came out, he had 30 points, and you're like, maybe we got something special. I would have been fine with the 62 to beat LeBron. But no, he kept going. Dude,
He did
as a
that. He did that by the end of the third quarter.
it's so great. And then Dwayne Wade was kind of calling out the team. And dude, again, Bam Adebayo, is this the most random thing to ever happen to the Miami Heat as a Heat lifer? I have to ask you.
I mean, I think it's either that or, and this is like one of the most memorable games. I'm sorry to bring this up because it's against your Chicago Bulls.
What? What are you
But
going to say?
the year that the Bulls won the title they had the 96, maybe the greatest team ever.
Mm,
Um, we played the Bulls. It was in the middle of us making like two different like 5-player trades, and we ended up with 8 players,
mm,
um, including Rex Chapman, who like had like a 40-point night and went off, and like our 8-player team beat MJ and Pippen and the
uh-huh.
Bulls. And like, that's one of those just random memories that like is indelible for me. That's the only thing that I can think of. I mean, it's, I don't want to be prisoner of the moment, but like 83 points
I
from a
know.
guy who doesn't score like 43 free throws. the Wizards, I guess at some point, I don't know why it took like 65 or 70 points or something, but the light bulb clicked about how they didn't want to be scored on anymore. So they started triple teaming him and still have to foul him. It's just, I mean, I've never seen anything like this before. And I will say, did you have a bunch of negative like social media tweets?
Yes, not from me, but from all these jabronis
No,
out
in your
there.
algorithm.
Not
Yeah.
okay. When I started seeing the hate last night, I said there's only one man to call. It is Jeremy Marks-Peltz, because I know deep in your heart you love the Heat, and you also love defending the Heat because you went through the LeBron Wade team that won multiple titles, and the whole country hated you guys with a passion. Did that, when you see all this hate towards Bam Adebayo, does that start to come out again where you need to defend your Miami Heat?
Well, it's funny because my initial reaction, and I'm I'm not surprised at all. Like this is just, and I tweeted this morning at JMP 1063 if you want to see tweets that just go in the ether. But I tweeted this morning, I'm like, the reaction to Bam just proves like our generation, there are so many people that success to them is seeing players and teams fail. Like that's what they get happy about. And they're miserable when you have players and teams succeed. So like when you have a guy score 83 points, like they're happier by picking it apart, and ripping on Spo and how did they keep him in the game and, all these free throws and stuff. So that part didn't surprise me. And then later in the day when I'm seeing it more like, yeah, that like, all right, fine. It's like Heat versus the world, like, like
Yeah.
Heat versus the haters. It's like, all right, bring it on.
You love it. You love it from the bottom of your heart. Forget the Dolphins getting, it's like Malik Willis, whatever, Tua to the fountain. No. This is the Heat, because in your lifetime, you've actually seen this team win championships, and you believe in the Godfather. This, it's like WWE wrestling. Are you ready now moving forward when it comes to the Heat?
Well, and here's another thing that's interesting that I was thinking about. And the Heat have been frustrating the last few years. They get too much grief considering that they've made 2 NBA finals this decade. But I understand, where like they, people thought they were going to get Dame Lillard and Giannis and all this stuff. And then, recently there's a lot of criticism about, well, if you're not going to get better in the trade deadline, if you're not going to get a superstar, well, then why don't you go the other way, whether it's tanking, whether it's like selling off some of your players. And that's just not the way the Heat are ever going to do things, like it or not. But yesterday kind of shows like it's ultimate defense of why they're right, because if they start going the other direction and don't try to win every single game, you don't have what happened last night. And, the game plan obviously wasn't for Bam to go off like that, but they had so few. I mean, the Hero was out, Norm was out, Khalil Ware was out. Like they had so few options that I'm sure this was whether it's Spo saying it or Bam knowing like he's got to be like it's a Bam game. And, Bam is a confidence player. Like Bam is you can probably tell within like, the first quarter, is this going to be a night where he's aggressive and like his shots falling and he's going to go for 20-25, or is this going to be a passive Bam night? And so like, I'm sure being aggressive was like the only thing in his head. But then just, you have the 31-point quarter and it's just like the ultimate confidence.
The question is then, why is he not dropping 30 a game? That's what I don't get. I don't understand.
I know I was talking to someone, they immediately said that, and I was like, I was going to wait a day or so before it's like the 24-hour rule. Enjoy this today and then tomorrow. But yeah, it's 100% fair. It's like, it's fine. Like, you don't have to drop 30 every single game, but it's like, I don't want, it's fair to not expect that we should ever see passive Bam, 4 for 9, gets the ball in a spot, pump fakes like 3 times. Like, no, dude, you scored 83. Like, you don't have to say you're a scorer, but like, you can be a scorer at any time. Like, you had the second highest point total in the history of the NBA. Like, so no more, like, you're not a scorer.
I like you bring up Tyler Hero. What's he thinking today? He sits out like, oh, you guys need me. I'm the best scorer on this team. And he's sitting there on the sideline, or he's at home, wherever he was. All right, maybe I need to rethink things. Like, what is he thinking right now if you're Tyler Hero on this team?
I think he I think he was at the game. I think I remember seeing him like celebrating stuff. Tyler and Bam have like been close though. And it was like I think they got closer the last couple years where you had, Jimmy and, his team and a couple players that got along with Jimmy, but it was just such a, just so much of a schism going on with that team that like, Bam and Tyler were like the next in line. So I think Tyler's just thinking he's happy for his boy.
All right, let's end with this. And I appreciate you jumping on with me. My brother and I, we would like to offer a trade in the future. We would like to offer 10 first-round picks for Bam Adebayo and his girlfriend, Age Wilson's, like, child. Because if they have a son, forget LeBron. Will this be the greatest genetic basketball player of all time? Because honestly, I think Wilson still might be a better basketball player than Bam Adebayo. What are your thoughts?
She's a natural scorer.
She is.
Like, I think Bam probably, like, they play one-on-one. Bam probably wins most of the time, but
she is a 4-time MVP.
Didn't she just put up like 50 something like
yes
recently?
She is the best player in the WNBA. Yeah. She must have told Bam, look, start shooting that ball, buddy. Just shoot it. Who cares? Don't listen to Spo. Start shooting that ball.
No, you're right.
This weekend, I never thought I'd say this. There's a big game in Miami this weekend with playoff positioning on the line. Magic and Heat. That is a good game this weekend now. I am excited.
I know. It's like the 720th time that the Heat play the Magic.
It's a good game. And
it's always like a play-in or like playoff play-in implications.
I thought of you. I was at the store and there was a Cheez-It, seriously, a Cheez-It display, and it had Jimmy Butler on it. And he's like, hey, I'm Jimmy Butler. Never should have left the Heat. Okay. Never should have left.
Oh, well, he should have a different attitude, but I'm so glad that
Yes.
I'm so glad. And the Golden State Warriors need to avoid doing what the Heat did. Get out of it a year early before a year late. Get rid of him this offseason.
Jeremy Marks-Peltz, Mr. 83, thanks for coming on. Have a great day. All right, buddy?
Always a pleasure, Mark.
Always love talking to that fine gentleman. Yes, Jeremy Marks-Peltz with ESPN West Palm. He is a Miami Heat lifer. He's originally from that area. And yeah, again, Bam Adebayo, 83 points. I know the Orlando City Soccer Club, I know they relieved their coach today. Whatever. Bam Adebayo, 83 points. The most random thing to ever happen in the NBA for a guy that only averages 20 points a game. Wild. If you bet on Bam with the over last night, you probably won a lot of money. All right. We're here broadcasting on the Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. I know a lot of NFL Buccaneer fans are waiting for this. Here is the official statement as we switch gears from my great friend Luke Easterling with Athlon Sports on his boy Mike Evans leaving his Buccaneers to go to the San Francisco 49ers. Here is his official statement. I know you're waiting for it. You've waited 2 days for it. Luke did not hold back when I talked to him this morning. Here's Luke Easterling. I'm sorry. We have to get his official reaction. He saw the whole career. Mike Evans, Tampa Bay Buccaneer for life. But then now he's going to the San Francisco 49ers. He's Luke Easterling with Athlon Sports. Luke, how you doing today?
I mean, not great, Mark. What do you want me to say? It's I guess I'd like to say I'm doing better today, but it's just like I've just resigned myself to the grief, I guess, at this point. But no, it's funny, man. It's such an interesting situation because usually when these things happen, fans are mad at the player, right? Because they said they were going to stay and they didn't. But I think it's very telling that the vast majority of the fan base, I really have not seen very much at all of animosity towards Mike, even though it's very clear that this was not about money. Especially when you look at the actual deal that he ended up getting. It's basically a 1-year, $16 million deal to go to San Francisco. And I guarantee you the Bucs offered him more money than that. There's just no way they didn't. So this is a clear indictment of the fact that he just doesn't. He not only does he not think that they can be a true championship contender this year, he's so confident in it. In my opinion, again, I don't know Mike personally. I don't have it's not an insider account here. But I would say that he's so confident that the 49ers give him a better chance that he's willing to do away with all the Buck for life stuff he said 2 years ago in order to chase that. That's how confident he is. And again, the reason the fans are mad at the team instead of Mike, even though he's leaving, he's the one doing the leaving here. The Bucs tried to keep him. And by the Bucs, I mean probably Jason Light, the general manager, doing everything he can to try to keep him. But I wrote about this at athlonsports.com. If you saw it a couple days ago when the news hit, the Bucs lost Mike Evans on a Thursday night in December when they pissed away that Falcons game on 3rd and 28 and 4th and 14. And you saw Mike just demonstrative on the sideline, just furious and couldn't understand it, was furious in the tunnel afterwards. And then to finish the season the way they did and to reward that collapse by keeping Todd Bowles as your head coach, that's the kind of stuff that changes people's minds. It changes the direction of Mike Evans' thought process, which is, I'm a champion. I'm a competitor. I want to win football games. I'm not here to hold people's hands. And so if you are, and again, this is a big thing that goes back a long way because there's a lot of levels to this, but it comes down to the fact that Mike saw them keep Todd, make a few, sacrificial lamb firings on the defensive side of things, clear the house on the offensive side. And Mike's looking around like, why should I expect anything to change? Why should I expect that if I end up on a Thursday night needing a 3rd and 28, the same defense is going to fail me again? Why wouldn't it? No. I'm going to go to San Francisco where Kyle Shanahan's going to be thrilled to have me in that Juwan Jennings role as the big X receiver. I'm going to go to an offense that knows how to scheme people open. I'm going to go to an offense, to a roster that's – listen, you want to talk about coaching. No team was more injured than the 49ers last year. They went 12-5. Okay, so I don't want to hear the injury BS from the Bucs because they showed you what can happen when you have injuries, but you have a competent head coach. The Bucs showed you last year what happens when you have injuries and you don't. And so Mike had a front row seat to that, and I think all of that leads to this. But again, I rest all of the blame here on the Glazers and the ownership, and going back even to the decision when Bruce Arians retired out of nowhere in March and said, you're going to hire Todd Bowles as my successor, I'm leaving. And the Glazers did not have the guts to stand up to him and say, no, that's not how it's going to go. You're not going to tell us who it's going to be, and not going to hand Jason Light a head coach he did not hire. And so it goes back to then. It goes back to this offseason where they did not have the guts to fire him. I don't know if it was financially, again, they signed him to an extension the year before, so I don't know if they didn't want to pay the buyout or whatever. I don't know that. It's hard not to look at that and see maybe. But it just comes down to the fact that they didn't think it would cost them Mike Evans, and it has, in my opinion. And so I blame them fully for this disaster of an offseason the Bucs are having. I like the signings they've made, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I'm happy you brought that up.
Even if they trade for Max Crosby, even if they had signed Trey Hendrickson, none of it. Like the fact that you botched this so badly with the greatest offensive player in franchise history, one of the great pillars of the community, all the things that Mike Evans is, you created a situation that was so bad that guy decided it was best for him to go play elsewhere. That's how poorly you handled this situation. And again, it's tough as literally as a Bucs fan, as you know I am for years and years and years, like just purely as a fan, dude, if Mike gives up on this team, why the hell should I be excited? Why should I have faith in this team going into 2026? They got a lot of damage control to do. They have a lot of goodwill to rebuild with this fan base because of how poorly they've mismanaged this situation.
Did you get it all out?
Hell no. It's not even close, Mark. It's not even close. You have no idea how much energy I'm devoting to my choice of words on this call right now. Like, if we were off the air, it would be a much more aggressive conversation. But man, I'm hot. I'm upset. I'm frustrated. And again, I think I speak for the vast majority of Bucs fans when I say it did not have to be this way. And the ownership, holds most of the responsibility for creating a situation that made Mike Evans want to leave. And I don't know that a lot of people will ever forgive them for that, because again, this is something that the Bucs fans knew was going to happen at some point. You can't play forever. And they're doing it with Levante David right now, right? Which is another aspect of this. Maybe Levante was going to come back and now Mike's gone. And maybe Levante says, you know what? Never mind. It's over. End of an era. Let's go out. Like, you don't know the dominoes that are going to fall from this. You don't know the dominoes that are going to fall with other free agents who are like, oh, Mike left. Like, man, maybe I'm not as confident in what's going on down there as I might have been. Like there's all kinds of things. So the the Tampa sports fans went through this with Stamkos a couple years ago but that was a money thing. Like, you're getting older, you've been injured, like you really haven't been the same player. Everybody understood, even though it hurt, right? It was extremely hard. But also, he made the right call. Jake Gensel has been great. He's 26. He's playing extremely well, and you spent the same money on him. As a hockey move, we all understand, even though it hurt. This is not that. It's not a money thing. It's literally the fact that you chose a mediocre head coach over the greatest offensive player you've ever had, and now it's come back to bite you in the ass. And I don't feel bad for the Glazers at all. I feel bad for the fans, and honestly, I feel bad for Mike because he deserved better.
I think you hit it as well. It's twofold. You lose your favorite player, and your favorite player also saying, you're not a contender. I'm going to go to – so you're right. What's the point of this fall now?
Not only is he going to go to a contender, Mark, he's going to go to a contender in a division that's the hardest division in the NFL. He thinks that he has a better shot to get out of the NFC West and win a Super Bowl than he does to be in the NFC South with you. Like, dude, that's a damning indictment if I've ever seen one over where a franchise is. That hurts, man.
We saw the whole career. I'm just going to say this. And you've always told great stories on this show, which I appreciate. You talking to Mike Evans in the locker room, he's a stand-up guy. He is. Dude, first ballot Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion, one of the great players ever he might be the best player ever for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm sorry, man. I am. I know it hurts. It is.
I think, the only thing the cope that I've allowed myself over the last 48 hours has been Jerry Rice in a Seahawks uniform, or, even Brady coming to Tampa, which I know is a very similar situation for Pats fans after the career he had there. It was hard to see him do that. Michael Jordan, Randy Moss, all these legendary players. Very few players get to do it like this. And it makes it's why you have to soak it up when you do. And honestly, Bucs fans have got to experience it more than most with Rondé Barber. Derek Brooks was a little bit different because they released him, and so he could have played elsewhere. I think he had a cheap 1-year deal on the table from the Saints, but he decided to retire instead of doing that. But Levante is going to go wire to wire as a Buck, and that just, it doesn't really happen. John Lynch, the GM who's signing him in San Francisco, had a Hall of Fame career in Tampa and then went to Denver after they gave up on him, and he kept making the Pro Bowl and continued to, bolster his Hall of Fame status in Denver. And so it's, again, we all know that these things have to come to an end. It didn't have to be like this. It didn't have to happen this way. And again, I think this is, time will heal to a certain degree. But the Bucs screwed this one up, man. There's no other way to put it.
Luke Easterling, I appreciate you stopping by. And I also like the Raiders are holding your draft, mock drafts hostage as well, where you don't know what's going on.
Pissing me off, man. It's
I know it is.
frustrating. Like, it's a lot of work, man. I put a lot of work into this. I don't feed this stuff into a stupid AI machine and like let it spit out whatever it wants to me. I do these things by hand. I have Google Sheets out the wazoo. I just put a giant whiteboard on my wall in my office here so I can I love just writing things up on the whiteboard. Like I do this. I put the work in, man, but they're holding me up. It's hard to do when you don't know where these picks are going, brother.
It's so Raiders. I love it. Luke, thank you so much for hopping on with me. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. All right?
You too, Mark. Appreciate it, buddy.
Always love talking to Luke Easterling. He does a great job with Athlon Sports. Not happy. In case you're just waking up from a coma, lifetime Tampa Bay Buccaneer wide receiver, and I like to call him future Hall of Famer. Mike Evans, he left. He went to the San Francisco 49ers on the 3-year deal. He feels like he has the best chance to win next season in another uniform outside of one Bucs place. That one stings. And I had multiple Buccaneers fans and Buck insiders hit me up, and they're like, yeah, we're not happy now. They're not. And they made some good moves on Monday, but that doesn't matter because they lost Mike Evans. That's what this is all about. So thanks again to Luke Easterling. All right. Updates as of today, yes. Bam Adebayo, 83 points for the Miami Heat. Still can't believe that happened last night. Oscar Petroia, the head coach there at Orlando City, he is out. 0-3 start. -8 point differential. Not so good to start the season for the Lions. We'll see what happens long-term there. And I know UCF basketball just getting underway there in their game at the Big 12 tournament. So we'll keep you up to date on that. Gators, though, who should be a 1 seed, they're going to play tomorrow there in Nashville for the SEC tournament. Here is Edgar Thompson, does a great job covering the Gators. I want his thoughts on Todd Golden. Can this team get to the Final Four? And the PR tour of John Summerall, the new coach there at the Swamp. Here's Edgar Thompson here on the Mark Moses Show. My man, how you doing today?
It beats working for a living, man. I'm not going to sit here and complain. I just spent 6 days at a golf tournament. I'm writing about basketball and football. So it's not digging ditches, and there are a lot bigger problems in the world, but I am busy.
But you love golf. You love golf.
I love the media room in golf.
Oh, you do?
No slight to my Gator colleagues, but I do like those media rooms with the golf. And just being out there with the on the course, and it's just kind of my happy place. But
all right, before we get to that, I want your thoughts on the Gator basketball team. What they did over the last 2 weeks, I think they're a 1 seed. I don't care about Nashville, what happens over the next couple of days. I think they deserve to be a 1 seed, and essentially beating up Kentucky. I mean, how impressed are you with this team right now heading into March Madness?
It's a juggernaut. I mean, it's even more impressive on paper entering this tournament than last year's tournament, which the Gators rolled to the national title. I mean, 4 second-half comebacks, but still, that's going to be the big question. Who will hit those shots at the end of games like Walter Clayton did much of the time, and certainly had others hitting shots, Elijah Martin, Will Richard, Thomas Houck, who's still on the team. So that'll be the interesting question, to see if they can make it a 20-game winning streak. They're currently on an 11-game winning streak, need to win 9 more to win another natty. But winning games by an average of 23 points, it's just dominant. Now, the SEC isn't as strong as last year. Let's just be fair. Yeah. Last year's team conference, I think 14 teams went to the NCAA tournament. It won't be that. And I don't think the strength is quite there. But it's impressive anyway you cut it. The backcourt looked lost. Early in the season, this team was 5-4. Now, 3 of those losses were number 1 Duke, number to Arizona, and then UConn that I think's whatever 6, 7. But it still didn't look good, and the 3-point shooting was abysmal. Now you got a guy like Urban Klavjar ripping it up from 3, 49% during this winning streak. Boogie Fland is leaning into his role as an elite on-ball defender and making some plays. Xavier Lee is a dynamic open court player, driver, hitting some threes himself. And then you just got a front court that'll just beat you up. I mean, Ruben Chinyelu leads the nation with 11.7 rebounds a game. Condon's playing like the guy who was a first-team All-American preseason, and Thomas Houck might be a first-team All-American the way he's playing. I mean, the kid's incredible, and he's a lottery pick at this point by all accounts. So stacked. I mean, deep, talented, confident. I wouldn't want to play the Gators.
No, and I'll just say this. That broadcast last Saturday when they're at Lexington, and that's usually in years past a house of horrors for the Gators where they lose that game. There was a point in that second half, and I know Kentucky made a kind of a comeback. On the broadcast, Dickie B was reminiscing about the 96 Wildcats team. That's how bad it got for that home team for Kentucky. That sold me on Florida. And the Arkansas game, I know you were there. Arkansas is a legit tournament team. They have a player that's going to be a lottery pick, and the Gators suffocated them in that basketball. I mean, killed them. And Calipari was dude, I've never seen this from the Gators where they're this dominant right now. I don't even have a question. I'm just telling you.
No, they are. They're steamrolling teams, steamrolling them. Mississippi State, I wasn't here for that. I was at Bay Hill Tuesday a week ago. Mississippi State was winning by 10 points, I think, at one point. It lost 108-74. I mean, it's like, they're not fazed by anything. Now, they were fazed by Auburn. Auburn came in here and just took it to Florida. Stephen Pearl, Todd Golden go back 20 years plus to the Maccabi games, or I know I'm butchering it, but it's the Israeli Olympics basically. And Bruce Pearl was the coach. These guys are like best buddies. And Stephen Pearl took it to his friend. Now, Stephen Pearl wouldn't want a piece of Golden at this point, and no one does. But it is, they ever since that game, man, they have just been on a roll. And it gave Todd some leverage with this team. Like, look, man, you guys are starting to figure it out, but you guys are a long way from where we need to get. Now they're pretty much arrived, I'm sure, where he's comfortable that this team can, overcome some lulls or maybe a off shooting night, which certainly could happen with this team given its early season struggles shooting. But when you can rebound like this team, defend like this team, which is even better than last year's team, because Walter Clayton was kind of a weak link defensively. Chinyelu was not nearly the force he is now. Now, you don't have Elijah Martin just locking down guys with his physicality, but Boogie can pick your pocket, and he can get a layup or two a game just taking it from you at midcourt. So and Xavier Lee is a really dynamic defender too. Kid is an athlete. He's so quick. So, this team is just – it's stacked. Now, Michigan's stacked. Duke is good. And Arizona beat Florida pretty soundly. Now, here's the other rub. If they get the number 1 seed, which right now Florida should, barring like a quarterfinal loss maybe, UConn losing to Marquette last week just almost handed the Gators the number 1 seed. And Houston, though, will be a 2 seed. The South region goes to Houston. Houston could play Florida in the regional final, which, in my opinion, if Florida doesn't reach the regional final, this will be a disheartening season for the Gators, because they could win the SEC regular season and tournament titles, lose in the Sweet 16. You got to be like, God, what happened? But you get to the regional final, you're going to be playing a good team. Now, It could be Houston in Houston. I mean, it's like you're going to play a tough game in that game, but playing Houston in Houston, I mean, that didn't seem very fair.
And Houston, they want Florida. They want revenge. That look, all these headlines, they'd be fantastic. I want your thoughts, Edgar.
Mm-hmm.
What's Todd Golden like? I feel like he's underrated, even though he won a national title. Nationally, I don't think he gets the love. What's Coach Golden like when you talk to him?
Last year, when they went to San Francisco, I had set up through Todd. I was going to meet the team, him, whatever, at this restaurant, Original Joe's, up on one of those hills in San Fran, which is like an incredibly unique city for all who've been. And at the top of this hill, and it's an old school Italian restaurant, really classy place. I went in and the team's kind of like, what's this reporter doing here? But I was invited. And so I kind of just hung out with the owner. His name's John Dugan. Dad, I think his family founded the place. Guy's like 6'7", played for USF, former player. In fact, crazy. My first season covering college basketball was 1994-5 in New Mexico. John Dugan, I remembered his name. I'm like, did you play? He was on the all-tournament team my first year covering the holiday tournament of the Lobos. It's unbelievable. I remembered the name. So he was a cool dude. We hit it off. So he said Todd Golden from day one just impressed me. 33-year-old head coach of the Dons. And he goes, he was the best interview in sports already. He is incredible. His poise, confidence, intelligence, willingness to answer any question or dismiss in a way that's friendly and not rude. He's just a dream to cover. And accessibility is first, it's at another level. I mean, you can go over there, you can get people, you can get him. He makes time, he gets it. And he's a superstar. And people are tying him to the Kansas job if Self were to leave. He has built such a good thing here. I think they're like 43 or 4-3 on their home court. They're selling out every game. The energy around this program is incredible. The support behind the scenes is robust. And that's what you need now to be able to pay players. You need to sell tickets, pay players, and just create energy around your program. And Todd's done that. He would inherit that at Kansas, but that would surprise me, and it would gut me if he were to leave because we enjoy covering him.
He wins national titles. It's like it's still in shock, and he's got a chance to win a second one. All right, before I let you go, and look, I know we're all going to be watching Gators basketball for the next couple of weeks, which is exciting. Knock on wood. The football coach.
Hopefully the next few weeks.
Yes. Knock on wood. I'll put it that way. All right. Football. This coach they hired, it feels like he's a politician, where not only is he coaching a football team in spring ball, but he is going on every podcast he can find, every show, to make sure that he is a tough guy. He's got the program in the right direction. I've never seen this from a Gator coach, where you have to do this much selling to people that I am the man moving forward. What have you seen from Coach Summerall?
Well, he also is in a new era. Even Billy Napier, when he came in, NIL was in its nascent stages. Billy was, I think he did his press conference like December 4th or whatever, 2021. NIL just started July 2021. So he walked in. I mean, the NIL program here wasn't really even crystallized, formalized in any way, and created some headwinds for sure. But you have to be able to raise money, bottom line, and put together expensive rosters of $30-40 million even now. Texas A&M, and LSU, by all accounts, have $40 million rosters. Florida is lagging there. John Summerall knows he needs to drum up enthusiasm and belief and willingness to fund this program. And after 4 losing seasons in 5 and the Billy Napier experience, a lot of people are reluctant to whip out their checkbooks and start, writing checks that aren't cashed. I mean, they're cashed, but there's no return on the investment, I guess is what I'm getting at, when you're losing all the time in embarrassing fashion under Billy Napier too often. So he is convincing people it's a new direction, a new approach, a new standard. Yesterday, Bob Stoops, Steve Spurrier are at practice. Urban Meyer's got his back. That's 5 national titles right there, 3 coaches that believe in this guy. And that's a, ringing endorsement. But he is selling the fact that I am not settling for anything less than a tough, gritty, physical football team, which the Gators have not been for a while. I don't even know if under Dan Mullen they were really that. They were good for 3 years, but did I feel like this was a hard-nosed team? I felt like it was a well-coached team offensively for sure, but it was a soft football team under Billy a lot of the time. Now, they played hard for Billy and all that, but they didn't consistently, stand up to the more physical teams in the league, like Kentucky. John Summerall hired the defensive coordinator from Kentucky and one of their assistant defensive coaches. Kentucky beat Florida's tail repeatedly and under Billy Napier 3 times. Bad beatings, 1 at home, 2 on the road. And, that's Kentucky. We're not talking about Bama. We're not talking about, Georgia. I mean, Georgia laid it on Florida every year under Billy Napier. I mean, physically. So, yeah, he is selling that. I mean, he is a tough guy. Come meet him. He's tough. And his practices, man, this guy is everywhere on the field. He's engaged. The defensive line he's over there with, showing hand placement, hopping in, cajoling, encouraging. Gerald Chapman, the defensive line coach, said yesterday it's good when the players can see their head coach watching them during individual drills. That wasn't going on under Billy Napier, who was very myopic about the play calling and the quarterback play, and see where that got him. So this guy's a different guy. He's telling you what he's about. Now, you're right. He's making the podcast circuit like I've never seen before, but that's the new way to communicate, right?
Yes.
I'm a writer in a world where people don't read. People do like to listen. People do like to watch, and that's a good way to get your message out to people.
I'm just going to say this to you. It's like I'm a jaded ex-girlfriend after a while. I've been hurt too many times. I've been here so long. I went through Muschamp, Mullen, McElwain, Napier. What you said about these investors, I have to see them win football games. I don't care if you bring in Spurrier and Urban. I don't care. I don't. You have to go win on the field, and then I'll give you my thoughts. That's how I'm feeling now with this. And I like him. I respect him. He's got to go win games. Say whatever you want. I got to see it at the Swamp this fall. I'm sorry. That's how I feel.
What's chicken egg? I mean, can you win without the backing? And I agree with you. Look, dude, if I was worth tens of millions of dollars or hundreds of millions in the case of some of these boosters, billions at some of these schools, Todd Graves, Raging Cajuns, guy's worth $22 billion. He's a big LSU donor. I mean, he probably wouldn't even notice peeling off $25 million a year. I mean, his index fund's going to generate that every year. I mean, he's probably got like more money than he even spend, and he has more money than he even spend. But would I give $1 of that to college football or anybody? No, but that's me. And maybe people listening are like, oh, yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Well, man, I think there are bigger things and more important things if you want to really give money and like change the world. But it's your money. You can spend it wherever you want. And these guys want their football programs to win. I don't understand the mentality, but it's there. And you got to tap into that to have any chance to win big, because that's the game now. I'm not saying, it's like if you don't like the game, then don't play it. If you're playing the game, you got to play it, and that's the game.
Can that be a T-shirt? That was fantastic. I like.
Yeah, it was a little long-winded, but don't hate. What is it? Omar said on The Wire, "Don't hate the player, hate the game." That's what it is. So, but it's the truth.
It is the truth, and you're absolutely right.
And you got to make a leap of faith with this guy. If you want Florida football to win, you have the money and the inclination, which I wouldn't personally, to give massive amounts of money to 18 to 22-year-olds, and so they can have luxury automobiles and live in $3,000 a month apartments and live ways that very few in society anywhere in this world live. That's what these young men live like now. They are like very well affluent at age 19 in some cases. So, hey, they're talented. They work their tails off. We talked to Aaron Childs yesterday. This kid gets up like 4:30 in the morning, linebacker, 4:30 in the morning. He doesn't eat sugar. He eats clean, doesn't even eat bacon. I mean, he's talking about how he's changed. I mean, I'm looking at him. He is cut. He was 244 last year and thick. He is ripped up at 238. He's incredible. He's probably NFL caliber talent. We'll see if we can put it all together. I mean, he's 6'3", 238 and can run, cover. But the discipline to maximize who he is. Vernell Brown III, the receiver, is just a film junkie. These kids work hard at it, and they have talent on top of it. You can't have one without the other, right? You can study your ass off without talent. You can't succeed. You can have tons of talent and not study. You probably won't. So you got to dedicate your life to this, and they do, and they're being compensated nicely for it. I don't begrudge them. I'm just saying that's the system now, and if you want your program to win, you got to accept the system and the cost of it.
Edgar, Thompson, Orlando Sentinel, I know you're busy, so thanks for jumping on with me to give the latest update, and hope I can get you on again during March Madness, all right?
Yeah, please have me on. Sorry I made it hard for you to get me, man.
Great stuff. Always love talking to that fine gentleman. Yes, Mr. Edgar Thompson, Orlando Sentinel. We've had a great show today. I want to thank Jeremy Marks-Peltz, ESPN West Palm. You just heard Edgar Thompson, Orlando Sentinel, my main man, Luke Easterling with Athlon Sports. Hey, don't forget, we're always broadcasting from the Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. If you'd like to be an advertiser, hit me up through our website at Mark Moses Show. Shoot me an email. Have a great night. Good luck to UCF basketball. Gators tomorrow, and we'll see ya tomorrow right here on the Mark Moses Show.